Rosen is your new best friend. Alison, with her good times never end. Alison, Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Alison's your new best friend.
Hey everyone. Hi, hello. Welcome to another exciting episode of Alyson Rosen is your new best friend. I'm sitting here in Pod Cabin with your husband and mine, Daniel Quantz. Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going wonderfully.
Great. So, listen.
I'm listening.
Are you though?
Yes. I'm listening.
It's now December.
Thank God.
We're in the countdown.
We're here. We're on day 2 of the Advent calendar.
Oh, we got to get some Advent calendars.
Well, I got a couple for the boys.
You did?
But we got to get
they?
treat-based ones.
Yeah. What kind did you get? Lego ones?
No, they don't want. What did I get for Elliot? Owen's was planets.
Oh, that's smart.
Elliot's is mini brands.
Oh, is he still into those?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't want to embarrass my son, so I have to tread lightly.
Yeah, please don't.
Let me think if I can say this. He's never admitted to having a crush on anyone, and I don't know that he does. However, there is someone.
He's got a fascination with someone.
There seems to be someone he has a fascination with. And I'm wondering if anyone else, this is a little bit of a just me or everyone. This happened a while ago with a YouTuber that he told me that he just couldn't stop thinking about her and he felt good when he thought about her or something like that. It made him happy to think about her. So I'm imagining it's going to be some like gawky 14 or 15-year-old girl.
The YouTuber.
Yeah, who's like has dark hair. Because I just feel like kids usually like people that look like their parents when they're that age. You know what she looks like, right?
She's blonde mom?
Yes, she's like buxom. She's like a buxom blonde lady.
Yeah, although I think for him,
light blonde.
He's just into blondes.
Yeah, evidently.
Because the girl that he's like fascinated with is older. She's an older lady.
She's older.
She's like two grades older. And she's blonde.
Super cute. I saw her. I don't want to describe her too much. I don't know why. I feel nervous treading on this, but she's super cute and she's so blonde. Yep. What is it's a repudiation. Look, I don't want my son to have a crush on me, but it's a repudiation of everything I stand for.
He looks at his
visually.
mom. He's like, not that, not that.
It'd be as if he was like, I love Christy Brinkley, Bo Derek, and Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah, I just don't know that that's what it is, though. I think at that age, it's not quite as like, I don't know, because I remember at his age having that kind of feeling for girls, and it wasn't. I don't know. It's like a different category of fascination. Like you're drawn to them, you like them, you have like this sense of like I like this, but it's not like it's pre-sexual, so it's pre those kinds of feelings. It's not. Yeah,
I think my first one when I was 6 was on Sandy Duncan as Peter Pan. And
I liked the Mandrell sisters. Do you remember the
Barbara and who?
I forget their names.
Barbara and Irene Mandrell. I got to look them up. You know, when I think about it, the guys that I liked, it wasn't like I was after curly-haired, dark-haired Jewish doctors or anything like that. Like I always liked very blonde people too. So
everybody loves the blondes, fucking blondes.
Is it the Mandrell sisters?
Oh, Mandrell. That's right. See, it's been that long.
There's a Barbara Mandrell. There's 3 of them.
And then I had my 5th grade teacher looked like Barbara Mandrell.
Which one's Barbara? The blonde one?
I think she had dark hair.
So there's 2 blondies and a dark-haired. And one of them has like white hair.
Here, I'm going to swing around.
Yeah, come around. Oh my God. It's Barbara, Earlene, and Louise. And I said Irene as a joke. Some part of me must have known. Who did you like? Earlene?
No, I like Barbara.
Oh, she's blonde.
Oh. I don't know. Listen, it was a long, long time. I mean, I was like 7 or 6,
I mean, she's pretty.
That was in my country music phase when I was like,
Oh, yeah, let's hear what they sound like. What do they sound like? Do you know?
I don't remember.
Oh my God, the tragedy of Barbara Mandrell sisters is so sad. I wonder what happened.
Oh my gosh.
What's the tragedy?
Yeah, what is a tragedy? Internet?
Oh, Sid and Marty Krofft did something with them.
Yeah, they were kind of all over. They had their own show. They did like a variety show or something. That's back in the day when you would turn on the TV on a Saturday afternoon and it was like Hee Haw, Barbara Mandrell,
And
just,
Davy and Goliath.
not even anything. It was just like country stuff. I feel like there was this soft.
The tragedy of the Mandrell sisters is so sad.
Oh,
The Mandrell sisters were a force to be reckoned with within the world of country music.
yeah.
Barbara, Louise, and Earlene Mandrell were not just good, they were phenomenal.
Yeah.
But then, on a seemingly ordinary day, something heartbreaking happened that changed their lives forever.
I had the best career that anybody could ever, and certainly way
is
more
your gal,
things than I ever dreamed
Babs
for me.
Mandrell.
And I wouldn't change any of it, and I loved it.
Any.
None of those negative things. I was very happy, but I was really.
What?
The footage showed a car accident, but I don't know.
Can't
if
you just look at Wikipedia? Do we have to suffer through the.
Yeah,
thinking
I want to hear. We're going to do
and
it
contemplating that
Then we're doing a
I'd
new
really
segment.
done all I could do to offer people, because that's what
together.
we
Get to the tragedy.
quote entertainers do is
Barbara Ann Mandrell was born in the most festive
Just
day.
tell us what the
Okay.
fucking tragedy was. God damn it.
All right,
Give me
I'm
the
reading
whole-
it. I'm reading it. But then, on a seemingly ordinary day, something heartbreaking happened that changed their lives forever. Jesus Christ!
Their show was canceled.
What was the Mandrell sisters' tragedy?
Just look it on Wikipedia.
I am.
For God's sake.
Okay. It was involved in a head-on car crash that left her with multiple injuries and temporary brain damage.
Oh.
Well, did anyone die? Oh, her two oldest children, Matthew and Jamie, were also injured in the crash. Matthew was 14 and had cuts, while Jamie was 8 and was treated and released. Oh, the driver of the other car was killed in the crash. Mandrell later said that she remembered her sister telling her to wear a seatbelt and that they would have all died without them. And she never thought she would sing again or be Barbara Mandrell again. This is the kind of thing, no offense to people who've been in head-on collisions that left someone dead and other ones scraped, cut, and with brain damage. That does sound pretty bad. But if you're going to title your video The Tragedy of the Mandrell Sister or whatever it was, and then you're going to show a crash and you're going to keep teasing it, one of your relatives has got to die. Because they set it up so that I'm like, oh, what's the big? Just
Right.
depression and brain damage, which is really awful. I'm a bad person. But Tony, make I'm a bad person a drop, I think. But they made it sound so ominous that actually it doesn't match up to what I was expecting.
That's everything these days. Every fucking.
Clickbaity thing.
Yeah, it's never what it was. You know.
Should we title this The Tragedy of Alison Rosen and
Oh
Your Best
my
Friend?
God. Every episode of your show now is the tragedy,
Tragedy
of
of Alison
Alison
Rosen
Rosen.
and Your
It's
Best
kind of
Friend.
this slow-moving tragedy.
So, okay, so Barbara, you know that I love talking about this stuff with you.
Mhm.
So Barbara Mandrell was your first crush. Then where did we go?
But crushed in a very light, like, it wasn't like, it was more like
Fascination.
yeah, it's like a fascinate. You're sort of drawn.
Yeah. Oh, I know my first one. It was actually, my brothers had a friend named Danny.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Danny who was, he was always very nice to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it was Danny. And that's when I was like less than 5. And then it was one of the boys from the electric company. And then it was Sandy Duncan as Peter Pan. And also I think the boy who played Winthrop in the Music Man, 'cause I saw a couple of musicals around that age. And then it was when I was in kindergarten, there was a boy in kindergarten that I liked. Yeah.
There was a girl in I think like second grade that I kind of like thought was cute. I wouldn't say I necessarily even had a crush on her, but I was always like, oh, she's really cute.
What's her name?
I can't remember, but she left the school, so she was only there with us maybe third grade, and then after sixth grade, in the summer after sixth grade, I was like seeing this one girl, like seeing her.
What was
you know,
her name?
Shoshana.
Ooh.
But I was like, not real. I mean, at that.
You weren't exclusive?
Well, seeing like
Or actually
was about the
hanging out?
loosest possible. Like I barely would see her.
Had
And-
you kissed her?
No.
Mm.
And she called, the girl from second grade called me out of the blue during the summer. And she was like, have I told this story? I must have told this. I'm
again.
sure I've told this story.
It's one of the seminal DQ stories.
Well, it was just very, it did have echoes.
Yeah.
So this girl who I had completely forgotten about calls
Let's
me.
give her a name. The one you liked in
like
second grade.
Laura.
Okay.
So Laura calls me. I don't remember her name.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know, will you go out with me? And I was like,
Wait, this is okay. Sorry, go ahead.
and I was like, no, I'm going out with Shoshana. And she was like, but I really like you, and please, please, please. And she was like literally begging me. And I was like, well,
But inside, were you like, Laura, the one that I liked in second
but
grade?
I didn't like.
Okay,
no, it
yeah.
was just like, I don't know. I mean, I hadn't seen her since second grade.
This was
And so
before caller ID, everyone, so you could not prepare. And also, everyone always answered the phone.
Yeah,
There was
and
no
so
not
she's like,
answering.
well, what if? She's like, well, what if we just date? What if we just go out for a couple hours, so you could be, we could be
She
together
really
for like,
wanted a piece of DQ.
we don't even
back.
have to see each other, but just like, and I was like, fine, okay, for the next couple hours. And she's like, okay, bye.
Wait. Did you? So you agreed to be her girlfriend for 2 hours?
I just wanted this to end. Like
But,
I was,
but what was she proposing? That for 2 hours you're her girlfriend?
we'll be
So you're
boyfriend
not gonna
girlfriend
go
for 2
hang
hours.
out. You weren't about
No,
to go
we
hang
wouldn't
out
even
with
see
her.
each other.
Okay.
And and so I hang up, and then like a minute later, I get a call from Shoshana.
How old were you again?
I mean, this is after sixth grade, so I was like
13.
11 or 12.
Yeah.
I get a call from Shoshana, and Shoshana's like, I'm breaking up with you. You were cheating on me. Apparently, she was in the room. The whole thing was a setup. And I was like, fine, whatever. You know, I get to school for seventh grade. All the girls are like, he's a two-timer. I was known as a two-timer. It was like, she did me dirty.
How long? Well, you did her dirty as far as she was concerned.
I know.
Had she known that you liked this girl, or was it just coincidence?
I think she had come back to Tucson,
Which one?
the Laura girl or whatever, and had been friends with Shoshana. And so they were just like, I think Shoshana wanted out. Even though I had for
Wait,
her
you
birthday,
think she set it up?
I gave her a Robert Palmer. What was his like in the Sound Machine? Or what was his band's name?
Yeah. Oh my. Oh, I can't believe.
What was his
blanking
band's name?
out.
It was
Yeah,
like-
was the Palmer Girls.
Yeah, but what was his album with them? It was like, I gave her a vinyl.
Simply Irresistible.
Yeah, what album was
Addicted to
that?
Love.
Yeah, what album was that on?
Yeah, I'm looking for some album titles.
For her birthday.
The Tragedy of Robert Palmer.
Yeah, I gave her that vinyl for her birthday, which, you know, for a 12-year-old DQ, big purchase. It's not like I had a whole lot of money floating around.
Why can't I? Okay. Sneakin' Sally Through the Alley, Pressure Drop.
No, but what's the
Hang
album?
on, I'm reading the names of the albums. He had a lot of albums.
Oh, okay.
Double Fun. Some people, these are too early. Maybe It's Live, Pride, Riptide, Heavy
Just look at the
Nova.
song and see what album it's on.
Jesus Christ.
God's sake.
Which one? Addicted to Love?
Yeah.
Okay, I know. I officially no longer care. I didn't care that much to begin with, but now I really don't care. Listeners, we've tightened this up, but what you don't know is it took 6
The
days.
Power Station. The Power Station. That was
Okay.
it. That I got her a Power Station album.
You had already given it to her, or you were? going to
Yeah,
give it
she
to her?
fucking took that shit from me,
Oh, like
and
our nanny
she should
that
have
skedaddled
returned it.
after I gave her an advance of cash. Ugh. All right, listen, Daniel, I'm sorry about that. The funny thing is, I feel like you've never cheated. You're not a two-timer.
I'm not. No,
I
I'm
don't
loyal
even-
to. If I should have cheated on her, she was useless as far as girlfriends go.
What does she look like? She look like your mom?
I don't know. She
Is
looked
there-
like Peppermint Patty. She had a very Peppermint Patty vibe.
Like glasses with no eyes? Wait, which one's Peppermint Patty?
She's the one with red hair and
No, you're
freckles.
thinking of Frida.
No.
I gotta look up Peppermint
Oh, for
Patty.
fuck's sake.
Oh, who's Peppermint Patty's friend? Oh, I'm thinking of.
I forget. Thelma?
Okay. Yes. Gotcha. She does have reddish. She has brown hair and
Auburn hair.
freckles.
Yeah, that would be right.
But there was also a Frida who.
In Peanuts?
Yeah, who has red hair.
I don't know about that.
Are you familiar with Frida?
Oh, yeah. She like wears it up in a
Yes.
bun? Yeah.
I don't think it's in a bun. It's in a half up, half down, if you must. Okay, listen. I have a new segment. It's a segment. Oh, no.
You just delete it?
I thought I did for a second. I thought I just deleted the whole thing.
There's a recently deleted folder.
Okay, good. I have I have to ask you guys a question. This is completely unrelated, but you saying recently deleted made me think about the fact that I have in my there's a hidden file in your phone.
Mhm.
And in my hidden file, I have pictures of my dad from the funeral.
Mhm.
And it unlocks with your face. It's like a Face ID thing.
Mhm.
So one day I accidentally unlocked it and I was like, like you got to be in the right mind frame to see pictures of.
You should put it somewhere else. You should put it on your Google, in like a Google Drive, and then that way it won't pop up on your photos on your phone. It won't be so that give yourself one more level of remove from it, so that you have to actually go access it as opposed to it like being right there at your fingertips.
You have to click on it and then it does that though. So I just avoid clicking on it. But I'm wondering, does anyone else have stuff like that in their hidden folder?
Oh yeah, tons. I have all sorts of nudes that girls send me, and that's where I put them.
You're constantly receiving nudes.
Yeah, but I think
Does
that
anyone
more
else
is
have dead bodies?
business. I have pictures of your dad. I think
You took them too? Did I ask
I
you
think
to?
you would ask me to, so
sounds about
I
right.
hid those as well, just because I don't want to see them.
I think you took the ones that are on my. I think you sent them
Did
to
I?
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
About what? Pictures of your dead relatives?
Well, so I've never had a dead relative that whose picture I would take pictures
Mm-hmm.
of, so I don't know. But it always seems like I don't want to really have that in my photo album.
Yeah, I know. I think the urge to take the picture is that it's like this is the last.
But my
Last time I
aunt, who's
see
from
them.
Puerto Rico, that traditionally in Puerto Rican culture, I guess, she had these, in their photo albums, they would just have pictures of the corpses of the dead from the funerals. That's just part of it. I can't do that.
Oftentimes when people post a pet loss carousel, at the end there's like, it's like it starts with the puppy and then you kind of go through their life, and at the end they're really old and they're like sleeping. But I always wonder, is this a picture of the dead, like of the dog after they've put it to sleep? Because sometimes it is. Like some people will do a picture of like the body surrounded by flowers and stuff, and I always have this thought of like, am I looking at an animal who's dead? We didn't
take a picture of Oliver.
I
we?
did. Yeah.
You did?
Mm-hmm. I have a couple.
See, I never want to see it. To me, that's seared in my brain. I don't need, and it's never a good memory. It's never like,
It's never positive.
I never think of that moment of him like curled up and just be like, oh, it's always trauma.
Yes,
like
it's trauma for me
I
too.
don't want to see it.
Well, I won't show it to you.
Please don't.
Okay. All right. So the segment is called This or That. And we're going to see if it has legs. I don't know if it's going to.
All right.
I put it in my phone a while. I came up with it a while ago.
Let's do it.
And then every guest that comes on, I'm like, I should do this or that. But
Let's do this or that now.
Super salad.
Usually salad, but I always want to know what the soup is because, yeah. Well, I'm always in the hot weather.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, so soup is just always like I don't feel it. But if they have like a good tortilla soup or a good tomato basil or something like that, and it's warm outside, I'll go with the soup.
Growing up, what did you do?
Oh,
'Cause
always
we were
the soup.
we were always salad. Always salad. Like no one ever orders soup.
But as a kid, I didn't like greens.
Okay.
So,
Ketchup or mustard?
well, it depends.
Okay. Fine. Reading on a Kindle or reading a book?
Gotta go with book. I have bought 2 Kindles in my life, thinking I'm going to be a Kindle
You're gonna
guy.
be a Kindle guy.
This will be great.
Some people are like very devoted to their Kindles.
Well, the convenience factor, especially if you travel, it's like, oh, I don't have to haul books around. But there's just so much. The thing about a book that you just can't beat with a Kindle is that ability to flip quickly from one part to the other to check things. And so often with books, I'm wanting to refer back to something, and it is such a pain in the ass to do it on a Kindle. And like, I still cannot figure out how the fuck to bring down the menu or whatever. It's like I'm always doing it wrong.
Yeah.
The UI, it's just I can't get it, and so I never use it.
Is it UX or UI?
User interface.
Oh, UX is the user experience.
So I don't know. I want to like a Kindle, but I'm a book guy, I guess.
You know what's interesting? When I had Elise Lunan on the show, she's an author that I worked with at the time at New York, but she had worked with Gwen at Goop for years.
Right.
Remember we saw her on the documentary? Yeah. But anyway, she was talking about like having been brought on for something to work on the UX or the UI or whatever. And she always wanted everything to be pretty, but they pointed out that if you think of like the most popular websites, they're not pretty. Like Amazon, they're not
utilitarian.
Yeah, or eBay or Craigslist. And it's interesting. Like we use those all the time, and they're not the most visually appealing at all.
Now you're talking UX.
I guess I am.
Yeah, UX is an interesting
I'm talking
thing.
UA, user appearance.
In Japan, Japanese websites are very generally unappealing to our eyes because there's like almost too much information
That's
on
what I was
them.
going to say, because I remember looking at some of them and it's like,
and I
overwhelmed.
Learned,
it's all on the front page.
I learned that the reason for that actually is cultural. That Japanese people feel better when they have more information.
That's how I feel.
And so they feel very or anxious if they are in a website that's minimalist.
Right.
And
it's
so
like, I'm going to lead you through this.
Right. So it's like a maximalist kind of sensibility that may not have from a design standpoint isn't good, but from a user experience, it like makes them feel better because they have the information they need.
I think that's how Amazon is pretty much.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I prefer that, honestly. Like I don't really want to have an experience. I just want to find some info.
Well, if it's something where you just need something, it's like then yeah, it's like the design is taking a back seat. So get it out. There's the yawn. Well, that was a great segment, honey.
I'm a book person.
Yeah.
However, lately I cannot pry myself away from my phone to read any book. Hence my Substack, Alison Rosen, AlisonRosen.substack.com column titled "My Phone is Making a Cuck of My Book." What? So I feel like if I were reading on my book, excuse me, my nose itches, then I actually would be able to read. So I think, why are you pointing your finger at me?
Just keep going. Just go. You go, girl.
I thought you were trying to insert
I was going to, and then I stopped.
Oh.
So now I'm just throwing you off.
Okay.
Well, so I did have a couple things. First, you're a very good book reader. You always have a stack of books. Number 2.
Yeah, have you noticed that it's been the same stack for years?
Well, you'll go through spurt. Number 2, our puppy is a good book eater.
Well, he's devouring the same book that I'm trying to devour myself, and who knows who will do it sooner.
And number 3, I'm going to try to remember it as I stall. How do you feel about this? Is listening to a book reading a book? Is it? Can I say if I've listened to a book on Audible or wherever that I've read it?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I feel like that's a yesterday.
We're all, as a society, we've moved on. We're all okay.
Here's the thing, though. If it's a dense book, I just think I would need to pause and take things in sometimes if I was hearing it. So for me, it would not be as if I had read it. I would have trouble.
Totally. But I'm just saying, like, if I just listen to a book and I'm talking to someone, I don't want to say, it gets weird to say I listened to a book.
Yeah. You know
what
that
I
I've never listened to an audiobook all the way through? I've tried to listen to a handful of them.
Well, and you just can't
I just never stick with it. I never stay with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Window or aisle?
So I go with aisle just because usually my legs, I get too cramped in the window. But I think it's maybe a better experience in the window.
Morning or evening?
So I am fresher and more alert and creative in the morning. So I, in some ways, prefer the morning, but I'm almost always the most awake in the evening.
Being dumped or having to dump someone?
Like, which I'd prefer?
Yeah.
I guess dumping someone. Being dumped sucks, but hurting someone sucks too.
Yeah. Big crowd or isolation? This wasn't written with you in mind.
Isolation. Totally.
That was the easiest one for you to answer.
Oh, yeah.
Beach vacation or snow vacation?
I've never really done a snow vacation, but I'd say beach.
Okay. Shower or bath?
I guess we went to Bryan Head, but that wasn't really.
Was it so
equivalent.
fast? Yeah.
What was it?
Shower or bath?
Shower.
Comedy or drama?
Drama.
Cake or pie?
Cake.
Dog or cat?
But dog or cat? Dog, of course.
Surprised it took you that long.
No, I was still thinking about the cake or pie one.
Wait, what'd you choose? Cake?
Well, the thing is about pie is that there's a lot of shitty pies. And so when you're talking about cake or pie, it's really like really good cake or really good pie. It can't be just general, I guess your average cake versus your average pie is the question. And I have to go with cake. Yeah.
If you have to, you have
because
to.
I feel like the cake game generally has been upped. Like cake when I was growing up versus cake now. Your average cake now is going to be better than the cake when I was growing up.
What kind of cake do you like best?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I like a cake with a lot of layers.
Okay.
I like a good chocolate, like a good chocolate cake. There was this cake that they had at this restaurant called Babalu over on Montana in West LA, Brentwood. And they had it. It was an Italian wedding cake. And I think about that cake all the time.
What was so good about it?
I don't know. It was just so good. It was like a spicy vanilla with nuts in it and coconut and like a white frosting. Oh, it was so fucking good.
Do you know what the tres leches of tres leches cake are?
Condensed milk, heavy cream.
Sure. I don't actually know the answer.
And unpasteurized goat milk.
I don't think it's that. Let's see. Let's find out. Oops.
Powdered milk.
It's probably condensed milk, cream, and milk. Or
Yeah.
maybe evaporated milk. Whole milk, condensed milk, and evaporated milk.
Evaporated milk. So no cream.
No cream.
Look at that. That's the kind of information people come here for.
That's right. There's no other way to get it. It's just us. My mom growing up, when I was growing up, my mom always liked to get a cake with whipped cream frosting instead of buttercream. And I just have to say
No.
here and now, no.
No.
You don't really taste the whipped cream. It's just, if you want
It's
to,
too light. And buttercream's
Exactly.
good.
I want to feel the granules of sugar against my teeth. I don't want it to just float in there.
What was the fight we had when we were
Choosing
doing
our
the wedding cake? What was the wedding cake fight we had?
Over what kind of cake to get, over the flavors. And I think you felt that
We had a
wasn't
tasting.
honoring you.
And there was it? There was some that I liked, and then there was some that you liked, and ne'er the twain met.
Well, the thing is, there were 3 layers of the cake, and we did like we chose different things for different layers, and they all were variations of what I wanted.
Right. You didn't want me to have a layer.
I'm sorry.
You were awful.
That is pretty
You
awful
were
of me. That
awful.
was my most Bridezilla moment.
Folks, I had no say. I would get yelled at like, you can't have a say. You're
I
the
don't think I
groom.
said that. I don't
You're
think
the
I said that.
groom.
Here's the thing. At the beginning, I was like, I don't understand why everyone says wedding planning is so stressful, because it doesn't seem that stressful. Like, I guess we're just more mature than that. And then next thing you know, oh no, the big fight was over the chairs.
I don't even remember.
You don't?
Well, I remember.
I asked you which color chair.
Oh, did we have a fight over that though? I just remember you being like, which color chairs do you want? Should we do the white or the brown? And I said one, and you went with the other.
You said white, and that's when I realized, oh, I actually prefer the brown. I needed.
And I was like, why did you fucking ask me then? But that was way late in the process. That was like
a
at the
day
end.
before or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
not
was
really,
like after a fucking 100 things. We really should have just postponed our wedding till the
I
fall.
don't really understand
Why did we rush it?
why we felt there was such urgency.
Yeah, we should have just given ourselves more time.
We didn't have enough time. You need. What you don't realize is that if you're going to buy a wedding dress, the ones you try on in the store are not the ones you get.
They gotta
they have to order it, and it takes like 6 months plus. So because we didn't have a full 6 months, I ended up having to buy a sample dress, which was fine actually. The dress was fine, but it just put this pressure and stress on everything. Honestly, I think the reason why, and it was self-inflicted pressure. It was that I didn't want to be a pregnant bride, and I don't know why. I'm like not a extremely traditional person or something, but I felt this biological pressure to start trying because I knew that I was on the older side, and
if only we had known how long it would take.
I know. Well, we had known how long it would take, we could have started way back when. So I think we actually did start trying in February, and we got married in May. This is sort of ringing a bell.
We got married in March.
Oh, that's what. Yes. Right. So we started right before, but yeah. So I didn't want to delay because I felt this pressure to like start trying to get pregnant.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it was like,
but it was all silly when I look back on it. You and I both, if we could do it again, we would elope.
I would have eloped.
Yeah.
Maybe just had a party after or something. The whole thing, especially because it's like you don't realize till you're planning a wedding how much it's just a racket.
Yeah.
Like, because it's one of those things where people are, it is a world where people are willing to spend a lot of money. They've never done it before, so they don't have a frame of reference for anything. There's a lot of pressure to make it special, and they're never going to do it again. So there's no ramifications for people.
Well, that's the thing, is that I was really disappointed with our wedding planner.
Yeah.
I felt, I think I have like a letter to her or a Yelp review in my phone that I never sent.
Right.
But I was so disappointed. But we felt that she cared more. This was her first wedding at our venue.
Yeah.
And we felt that she cared more about her relationship with the venue than her relationship with us.
Yeah.
Because
which I think is true.
She's not going to get more business from us, but she could potentially get business from the venue. So that, like, it's like she was looking out for them, not me, which really pissed me off.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like anyone out there who's going to get married, just know that there's like all these people who they'll act like they care about you, but they've got other relationships that they're thinking about. You have to find someone you can trust.
It was a similar experience to my first birth at Cedars, where I felt like to a lot of the women, they could have been men too, but they happened to be women. A lot of the nurses, it's like, I'm just another fucking body coming through here, and they're burnt out and they're overworked. And so they lacked individual compassion. None of them treated me like a human being or like looked at me personally and saw that I was having a tough time. It was just like in and out. And like, yeah, like, pregnant women always act this way and birthing mothers always act this way. And,
Yeah, like even your makeup artist was like that. Like everybody had that attitude of you just being.
Well, the day before I raised some question and they're like, our wedding planner told me that the photographer said, tell her now's the time where she needs to just trust her team or something, like the time where she needs to just stop worrying and trust her team. And it's like, fuck you. And it was a lot of like, they all, yes. So anyway, I think that brides are usually worried and a bit much. And they're sick of they're all tired of dealing with brides. And it's like, that's a terrible person to be giving thousands of dollars to. You know who ended up being the one who was really great was the florist.
She was amazing.
Yeah.
She was
But everyone else was like, ugh.
And she was the least drawn. I mean, like we met with her at her little, place that she lived, and she was quirky and and so professional. She came, the flowers were great. Like, yeah. I don't know. It's the venue was great, but
the actual wedding for everyone who attended,
everyone but you, it was a nice wedding. But that's the thing. You do it once, and then it's like, oh, you learn the lessons, and then I guess you don't have a.
I remember thinking that everyone who's been married had a day where they were like having a fairy tale. Like they were.
This is what you had thought.
Yeah, that everyone who got married had this moment of like, pinch me, I can't believe this. I just assumed that everyone.
It's not a high bar to clear or anything. Like high expectation.
Wait, what do you mean?
If the expectation is that this is going to be your fairy tale day, that it's like, how do you? I don't know.
I just thought this must be the best day of ever. It makes it sound like I was like obsessed with getting married, and I wasn't. But I just assumed that.
But once you get caught up in it,
well, yeah. But I just assumed, just casually, if the thought had entered my head, that must be everyone's like a great day for the bride and the groom. Like that must be their best day, And then once you're on the other side of it and you start talking to brides, my story of feeling like I did not feel good on that day. Because of a lot of little dramas that were unfolding and shit. And it was like trying to run to catch up with this like runaway train. Like the train,
day is going away.
The train being my expectations of how it was supposed to be versus what's actually happening. It began to feel like nightmarish. And because it's like every minute is $10,000, it's just like, and it's never going to happen again. And it gets built up so much. Most people most brides I've talked to have some kind of similar story.
Yeah, and I just think like
it's a setup.
I mean, everyone's different, and everyone has a different community, and sometimes it's about the community and so on. But it's like the day should be meaningful to you as a couple, and the things that people appreciate about a wedding are rarely the ceremony. I think it's often the party. So just do a ceremony that's meaningful to you. Don't go crazy unless that's your thing.
Going crazy?
Yeah, and then have just a nice party with your friends to celebrate and just make it fun. And that's really all. Like, I don't know, like all the rest of it.
Don't financially bite off more than you can.
Yeah, don't spend
that's another
all
thing,
your money on
like,
it.
We did it at a time where we didn't, there was a point, we got to a point where I was like, God, if we were getting married now, we could have really we wouldn't have had to stress about everything because we have the money now. As it turns out, now we are back in a position of like, we couldn't. So now we would not be a good time for us to do a wedding. But there were, a number of years there where we could have, but we did it at a time where we couldn't, everything was stressful because of the money. Whatever. This isn't a wedding podcast.
Nah, it's
This is
so
a December.
so long ago. Who even cares at this point?
Yeah, I know. Not me.
I mean, I'm grateful that I don't think about it that much. It's just like it doesn't really have any like sway over me one way.
Yeah, it doesn't really over me. It doesn't over me either. I will say when my dad died, I was happy to have all the pictures and footage. So things can happen.
There were some really nice memories from that involving your dad.
Yeah.
That I think are untainted. Like,
yeah.
And so I'm grateful for that. There were definitely good things about it, but
I remember not liking, what did he say? I don't know if it was about the wedding photos or some photos. He's like, eventually you'll like them just because you looked young in them. Which is true, though.
It's such a wise old person thing to say.
Like a picture that at the time you don't like, give it 10 years and you'll just see how young you were.
I know. It's that thing of like, is there a picture that you see of yourself from before that you're not like, oh, I look great?
Mm-hmm.
And is there ever a picture of you now where you think I look great? Like, it's just
right.
You're always better looking than you think you are.
But there's even pictures of me as a child in my most awkward stage where at the time I hated the pictures because to me it was like a picture of all my worst traits. Like she's obnoxious, she's awkward, she's like pushy, or not pushy, but with like
bossy,
obsequious, or
bossy,
demanding,
bossy.
Again, not really exactly what I was going to say, but
controlling.
I mean,
neurotic?
No, again, I don't think I'm neurotic.
No, but definitely controlling.
Demanding, I think, is really more what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Needy.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Needy and just like blech.
Yeah, that too.
And I'll see pictures where I see that girl or the same picture, and it's just like I was just a child,
right? Yeah.
Like it's funny these things we hate about ourselves.
You would see that in yourself as a child?
Well, I just saw a really like unattractive picture of me, but now they're all just pictures of a kid,
right?
Really, or maybe like really hammy, like performing and hammy,
like just cringy,
cringe, as our son Elliot would say. I would see pictures of me that were cringe.
Well, every picture of me from a certain age range is cringe. Like I didn't.
Like, give me an example because I've seen a lot of pictures of you.
I don't know. Like I feel like I was to me I was cringe from like 12 to 17. Like the
cringe years.
Yeah.
I think I could handle. Oh my God, it's something in my eye.
But I don't think 17. I don't think other people saw me that way. That was just how I look back and I go, I was such a dork. But I wasn't a dork.
No, you were.
I mean, maybe
there.
I'm not saying there weren't people who thought I was a dork, but like just generally speaking, I wasn't. But to my mind, I was.
So listen, we have some calls. These are that I had never played. So let's get to them.
Okay.
Hey, Alison, it's Rick from Brooklyn. Just calling to say hi. This weekend I'm going to be running the Marine Corps Marathon in D.C. And I always listen to your show, your Thursday show, whenever I do a long run or a race, just because it keeps me laughing and focused. And, those first few miles until I get a rhythm. Eventually I get so tired I just have to put music on when I'm just mentally exhausted, but you'll definitely be there with me for those first few miles. And since I'm traveling just near everyone, I now take a roll of toilet paper from home with me, just because hotels always have the thinnest, roughest, worst kind. So I just say I'm going to bring my Charmin with me. So again, just saying hi. This is Rick from Brooklyn. Bye.
Rick, how did we do in the marathon? I love that I'm going with you. See, I am exercising in a way.
Yeah.
Bring your own toilet paper. Bring your own toilet paper to the hospital if you ever have to be hospitalized.
Yeah.
All right.
Smart.
Let's see. Now, there's 2 calls from the same number. Okay, here we go.
Hi, Alison and Daniel. This is Andrew from Massachusetts again. I just left a message, but I hung up because I got way too nervous, and I don't know why. But I was calling to say that we call Packies or liquor stores in Massachusetts, Packies, because they were originally called package stores, not because they're run by Middle Eastern people. I know Greg is a wonderful person. I love him. I wish he was on the show every week. And I knew he didn't mean it as a racist way. The people in Boston are getting enough racist shit as it is, so I don't want to add anything more to it. So thank you. I love you. Bye.
Well, I think I knew that. Didn't I say it was
you had
package
said
store?
that. But why do they call oh my God, we got to return to Kevin Can F Himself.
Yeah.
We stopped watching that. We're watching Slow Horses now, and I'm finally into it. Let's find out why it was called a package store.
I like to shit on Boston just because transplants from Boston out here in LA are so annoying about being from Boston. But, you know, there's a lot to love about Massachusetts.
The term package store originated in South Carolina, where the state government was the only entity that could legally purchase barrels of whiskey and bottle it for sale. I'm sorry, does that explain it at all?
I still don't understand.
The term package store.
They call them that in Connecticut, too. I feel like Connecticut is like a suburb of Massachusetts. Connecticut is either like part Massachusetts or part New York.
Because purchased liquor must be packaged in sealed bottles. Why are liquor stores called packaged? One common explanation you hear is that various states not wanting their citizens to be seen carrying disreputable liquor on the streets mandated that liquor stores sell all their goods in brown paper bags. You think it would be called the bag store?
So it's like a way to. It's like if you were to buy, a sex toy from a sex company, it would
discreet
be like
packaging.
Discreet packaging.
Yeah, but I don't know. That doesn't quite answer it entirely for me. But maybe it's that. Okay,
It just goes back. It's one of those things that just goes back.
Hi, it's Rich from New Jersey calling.
Wait a minute. Didn't we hear from him recently? I don't know.
He's called before.
Itching like a bastard listening to your latest episode.
That was
so
a
that's
nice
good
episode.
times. The accent, in answer to your question, the accent I did on my last phone call was the stereotypical rich guy accent. Like a Thurston Howell III. The kind of thing that the accent comes with a cravat. You know what I'm saying? And if you laugh at something, you have to do it with your mouth open, but your teeth clamped tightly shut, like like that. Just saying, I too miss magazines savagely. I used to subscribe to a whole mess of them, and the only kinds that you can really get now that are any sort of relevance is if you're into collecting things. So I think the only one I buy on a semi-regular basis is Toy Ventures, which is a toy collector's magazine about vintage toys. They go into loving detail about Planet of the Apes and Micronauts and all sorts of stuff like that.
That's fun.
But it's a passion project, and that's why it's $10 an issue.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm not buying any other ones, right? So why not? That's it. Rich from New Jersey, signing off. Signing off? What the hell, dude?
This is like Owen. What the hell, dude?
The new racket is when you go to the CVS or wherever, and they'll have those specialty magazines. And you cannot see the price anywhere on them, and they're meant to be like, impulse. They're always like $15.
Yeah, I know. I don't like that. I remember when, on my day, magazines were cheap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I remember just the fun of going to a newsstand. And those days are gone.
For me, how old was I? I don't know. It's when I wanted to be an actress. I was obsessed with teen magazines. So Bop, Big Bopper, Tiger Beat. I think they had one called 16. I forget what the other ones were called. And at Ralph's, they had a huge newsstand. And so I would go in there and like the delight of, oh my God, look at all these new issues. And I don't know how frequently those magazines came out. It felt like every day. But I was so embarrassed that I read them that it was like this secret hobby of mine that I didn't want anyone to know about. So I was
but
always
of course,
like,
it was every teenage girl.
Maybe. No, I never talked about it with anyone. It was because they stayed in business.
I always thought it would be, back in the day of magazines, a good idea for a magazine would be 14 girls called Perfect Boyfriend, and it was all about like what are the qualities of a perfect boyfriend, and the teen celebrities.
Wait, did you say 14? 14 girls.
Teens.
I was imagining. I thought you said 14 girls, like the number, and I was like, "What are we doing with 14 girls
They're the
called
ones.
perfect boyfriend?"
And they're the group that decides. And then you'd have is the sort of quote centerfold of each issue would be wallet pictures of some celebrity. So it could be you could pretend
He was your boyfriend.
that he's your boyfriend.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I know, but they
Yeah.
don't sell magazines anymore.
Not really. So anyway, for anyone who is of my age and who also was reading teen magazines around this time, I'm going to mention who I recall seeing in the magazines.
All right, here we go.
Kirk Cameron,
Mm-hmm.
Richard Grieco, I think Mark Paul Gosselaar,
Mm-hmm.
David Faustino, Andre Gower,
Staples.
Stephen Dorff,
Mm-hmm.
Corey Haim, Corey Feldman.
Mm-hmm.
Alyssa Milano was all over them.
But how is she presented in these? Like as kind of like a rival? Like do
I
you like Alyssa Milano?
I didn't, because she was like, she wrote poetry. She's from Canada, and she was
Alyssa
always
Milano.
pictured with the Coreys, and she was just always like the girl. She was a bit of a rival.
It could be argued that if not for Alyssa Milano, Trump might not have been reelected.
What?
Because she was the one that kicked off the whole Me Too hashtag. And Me Too as a movement has been, I don't know if I agree with this. It is suggested that a lot of this is a backlash to the movement that grew out of that.
I suggested that when I was noticing just how many guys who have a little groping problem, if not more, seem to be getting appointed to various things right now. And I wondered how much this is a pendulum swing from the Me Too situation.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's
But
an
you could
interesting
also
thought.
say that if Obama hadn't been elected.
True.
So, wait, who did she meet to?
She came up with the hashtag, remember?
Yeah.
The whole
sort of.
thing where women were telling their
Right,
stories
yeah.
kind of came out of, I think, from her.
Well, so anyway, I remember I did not care for Alyssa Milano. And then back when I used to do those A&E bios or bio channel
Yeah.
bios, I did one on Alyssa Milano. And I was like, all right, look how far I've come. Those were kind of fun because they'd send you this big research packet the night before. And I'd be like, for 24 hours, I will be
The expert.
the foremost authority on Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
And then like ask me, he had a twin, I think.
Oh, really?
Or has one, I don't know. Or like Bob Saget or Alyssa Milano, I can't remember all the ones. I did a lot of those. So any who's it's. Tiffany was in them. Remember Tiffany? She got her start in malls.
I just saw a story. I'm going to
Just
change
the
the
10
subject.
of us girls? All right.
About a woman who was on TikTok talking about how now I saw someone talking about it. I haven't seen the TikTok. Talking about how her friend has twins and babies, and that her husband is freaking out because he like put them down and forgot which was which, and they don't know which is which. And they can't figure out. They're like low key freaking out because they don't know. They may have switched the babies, but they don't know.
I mean, but also like difference without a distinction. Like, who cares?
Right. It's funny. It's a funny thought, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I bet that happens all the time where it's like whatever the name of this one was at the
Right.
beginning ends up being the other one's name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it matter? Like at a certain point, it starts to matter.
When they're distinguishable.
Right.
But yeah.
Right.
They should just do what they do with dogs, which is like put different collars
Well,
on
so
them, paint
people
their
were
toenails or
commenting like,
something.
that's why my friend who had twins never dressed them the same. They were always had different,
Yeah.
you know.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think, like, could they measure them? Is there like this? There's no birthmark or any distinguishing anything?
I guess in this case there wasn't.
Because like with the
Sometimes there
Sweet Valley High twins, the Wakefields,
was. Mm-hmm.
Jessica had a mole. No, Elizabeth had a mole somewhere on her
I
body.
mean, that's a real gift to the parents if there's
Yeah.
a distinguishing mark.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, I would just brand them, you know, do it when they're young, when they won't remember the feeling.
See, I was thinking you could just like paint a toenail or something. but I guess branding is.
But that's
forever.
something you got to do all the time.
There's
and it's
upkeep.
Mhm.
In case anyone's a real idiot, Daniel's joking.
It's so funny because I'll make obvious jokes in
Oh,
the
yeah.
house, and Owen, he's so sweet, and then he's like, "Are you joking?" Like to me, the idea.
No, he'll go, "You're joking, right, Daddy?"
The idea that I could potentially not be joking, that being a possibility for him, it's just like, please never lose your innocence.
Yeah.
Of course he has to, or else he'll get crushed by this world. But you just want him to hold on to that as long as he can, you know?
Sweet.
Yeah.
You know, I think this one has come to a close.
Sure.
A rollicking close. Have you ever mixed up your twins?
Oh,
Let
yeah.
us know.
Or are you a
323.
twin that was mixed up?
Right. Are you actually your sister or brother?
Mm-hmm.
So I went on Owen's field trip last week, and I was talking to this little girl. There was a boy who told me his sister eats cheese and boogers. So different conversation. And I was asking, do you have any siblings? She said, yes, I have a sister. And I said, oh, is she older or younger? She said, she's younger, but we're the same age. And then it turned out it's a twin.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to get much more info out of her.
Kids, they're not real forthright
Not
with the things you want to hear about.
Yeah, they're fourth. Like I didn't say, does your sister eat cheese and boogers, or what does she like?
Sure.
That just
like, what
that
does
was-
your sister eat with cheese? Is usually a question to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll give you the information they think is
Right.
information you need.
Right. I was thinking of that joke. Who is the guy? It's he's been on my show. Oh, fuck. Henry something. But like someone asked me what my two favorite things in this world are, and I said cooking and masturbating. And I'll have to get back to you about the second one.
That's pretty good. You know how like parenting, like
Henry Phillips, I think is his name.
there'll be those parenting, Instagram pages or whatever, and they'll say like, don't ask your kid how their day was,
Henry Phillips.
or instead of asking your kid, what'd you do today, ask them specific questions, like what was your favorite thing you've done today? And I have tried that and I still don't get fucking answers.
Okay, well then I should share this with you because I was sitting with Elliot
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about school, but we were also talking about school.
Mm-hmm.
And I pulled up a list and I said, which of these questions do you think?
Oh.
Yeah. And so I can read it to you.
Okay.
Okay. It's titled Questions to Ask After School. So these are all Elliot sanctioned questions.
So he has signed off.
Yes.
Okay.
Was there anything fun that happened today?
Okay.
Was there anything
See, I think he's saying, I've asked that, but go ahead.
Was there a special event or anything special that happened? The first two, when I asked these, were my tooth fell out. What did you play during recess? What was the best part of your day? What was the most interesting thing you learned today? What was the worst thing that happened at school today? Who would you like to sit by? Who would you not want to sit by?
He's saying that because he's reflecting on it, but in actual practice, he's a fucking closed book.
I guess so. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
All right. I would like to thank everyone for listening.
Yeah, especially you, listener.
Yeah, you are the wind beneath my wings, and frequently you're the thing that literally allows this show to keep going because ads are thin. What's the thinnest thing in the whole world? Imagine
Half a sheet of paper.
thin prosciutto. No, something even thinner.
May I suggest a Christmas gift idea for people?
Yeah.
Buy
Something
someone
off
you
of
love.
Amazon.com/shop/Alison Rosen.
Buy someone you love a yearly membership.
Ooh, to Patreon.
To Patreon.
Yeah, you
of
can
Alison
gift
Rosen.
memberships now. And if you do yearly, you get 2 months free.
Yeah. It's a good
And
gift.
I have, so if you're at the $10 level, which is a confidant, there's a special number where you can text me, I'll text you back. And I have been texting people every day now. And I worried it was too much, but people seem to love it. You get little updates, like a photo or like, here's what's going on or whatever. And you can text me back and I'll text you back. And and there's a higher level where I'll leave you alone. That's your joke, Daniel.
That's a good one.
But yeah, friend zones, that other stuff, behind the scenes content, patreon.com/Alison Rosen, and then my Substack, which is
Substack.
filled with gossip and more. AlisonRosen.substack.com. Thank you so much. Get to everything else. My Linktree or AlisonRosen.com. Anything else for you, DQ?
No, just follow me at places or not, whatever.
Great. Thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen Show?